Halftime Howie here. We have a tribute segment here. Growing up as a kid, one of my favorite shows was Batman with Adam West. Passed away Saturday at the age of 88, lived a nice, full, rich life. But to do a tribute, talk about Adam West, not only Batman, but in later years, we have Rocco Pasafumi and Rich Kaplan collaborating on a tribute to the great Adam West.
Thank you very much, Howie. First and foremost, as we all know, Adam West really made his moment in television doing the Batman television series in the 60s. And of course, we all know that the TV series is rather infamous today because it was a very radical departure from the comics, from any interpretation of Batman we had seen up to that point. And, it was more comical, it was more kind of tongue-in-cheek. And Adam West really fit that perfectly, even though he kind of didn't quite realize it at the time. But, it was just very, very humorous. And I think that he definitely played into the whole spirit of that whole thing. And he definitely made a very memorable Batman. I know a lot of people are not completely fond of the whole interpretation of Batman in the 60s show, but I loved it. I thought it was really funny, and I thought that it made Batman bigger than it had ever been before. I mean, internationally huge. The Batman show was very, very popular all over the world, in Europe and Japan, and it really made Batman like an internationally known superhero. So in many ways, Adam West definitely played a big role in the popularity of the entire intellectual property of Batman. So, but no, that's definitely not the only thing he's done. I'm going to have Richard talk more detail about this, but in later years, Seth MacFarlane's popular cartoon sitcom Family Guy, he became the mayor of Quahog. Basically, he was it was a character, an exaggerated version of himself. And I'll have Richard fill in the rest of the details on that. So take it away.
Thank you, Rocco. Adam West was a character on Family Guy who was very eclectic. He was the mayor, but yet he personified a lot of his Batman characteristics in some ways into the character on Family Guy. It was flamboyant, it was spot on, and you just loved it. I mean,
yes.
And Batman especially. I remember growing up with Batman.
Yes.
And, when he'd get into the fights, you'd see the big bat, boom, boom,
yes.
That sort of thing. And I miss that. We're going to miss that because Adam West is probably one of the last of the great actors who was a comedian, but yet he was a comedian's comedian in the sense that he was funny, but in a tasteful way. He didn't have to go over the top to get laughs. He didn't have to, get vulgar to get laughs.
Exactly.
And that's the thing I really, truly loved about Adam West.
Yeah.
The fact that you felt like you were part of it.
Yes.
And Family Guy especially, it's not going to be the same without Mayor West. It's going to be really weird. Because Mayor West was such a big character on that show.
Yes.
And the fact that now he's gone, I don't know how you're going to replace that. I really don't. I mean, they had Lois run for mayor once, but I can't picture Lois being mayor of Quahog. I can only see Adam West doing it because he does it so well.
I think to underscore what was so great about Adam West, the kind of person we've kind of come familiar with as, a person on television is, with particularly the mayor character, was that he was just so playful. Like, it was just ridiculously funny. Like, I remember there was this scene I remember where he would be ringing doorbells and playing like prankster and all that. I don't know, I mean, that kind of humor you don't see any, like you said before, you don't see kind of humor like that. And Family Guy is usually very, very crude kind of humor. But this was different. It was a totally different tone. It was so, you didn't know to kind of go for the jugular when it came to, for instance, he played off the fact that he had lymphoma, which is what he died from, by making it seem like he died from rolling around in toxic waste. I mean, it didn't take much to create such an absurdly funny moment with that character.
Absolutely, the lymphoma was, I think, one of the most hilarious things when that episode when the Griffins were exposed to toxic waste, and then he exposes himself thinking that he's going to get superpowers and instead gets lymphoma.
Yeah.
I mean, Adam was just a dynamic individual.
Yes.
And there are a few comedians out there who really can, pound for pound, produce what he did.
Yes.
And I think it's going to be a very big loss. I think that
Yeah.
to the Batman community, especially to Gotham, Gotham's not going to be the same without their original
Yes.
Batman. So
Yes.
it's going to be a very difficult loss.
Just to wrap it up, I got to say that I think people will realize now just how much of an impact he made on Batman. I mean, compared to the many other people that have been the character and there's many different interpretations, I feel like he will get his due as somebody who really made Batman just, something that encompassed so many different things. So, Adam West, rest in peace. You had a fantastic career, and we just will appreciate what you brought to television forever. Thank you.